In today's episode, we will take a look at the following fakes. Kremlin propaganda exploits the topic of ethnic minorities. Hungarians ask Budapest to protect them from Ukrainian genocide. Mobilization on ethnic grounds. In Zakarpattia, ethnic Hungarians are being recruited into the armed forces. A Russian propaganda narrative. Zakarpattia region of Ukraine should become a part of Hungary. Our analytical team at Detector Media is on constant watch, tracking the spread of the boldest fakes from Kremlin propaganda. I'm Vadym Miskyi, and for the next 10 minutes I'll guide you through the key facts. Let's get started.
De a háború folytatódik, és könnyen világméretűvé válhat. Elég volt a háborúból.
An official démarche. This is how the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine responded to Hungary's video with a map of Ukraine without the temporarily occupied Crimea. Ukrainian diplomats added that playing along with Russia's aggressive policy does not help to quickly restore peace in Europe, as the Hungarian government publicly calls for. Later, after Kyiv's démarche, Hungary corrected the video and marked Crimea as a part of Ukraine. According to the Kremlin propagandists and their followers, the map of Ukraine should also be without Zakarpattia. Supposedly, ethnic Hungarians living in Ukraine are asking Budapest to protect them from Ukrainian genocide. The Hungarians have allegedly begun preparations for a referendum to annex certain parts of Ukraine to Hungary. Also, the Zakarpattia Rusins, a Ukrainian sub-ethnic group, descendants of Ukrainians who once lived in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, have asked Moscow, as propagandists claim, to create a separate state, the Carpathian Rus, in the west of Ukraine. Enemy propaganda uses the Rusin ethnic group as a tool to discredit Ukraine. Since 2014, Petro, convicted of high treason, the so-called Prime Minister of the Republic of Subcarpathian Rus, which exists only in his imagination, has been hiding in Russia. He regularly spreads disinformation messages about the genocide of Rusins.
Русины официально поддержали позицию руководства Российской Федерации по Украине в контексте принуждения Украины к миру и федерализации земель. Предлагаем Западную Украину преобразовать в Карпатскую Русь на правах, мандатах, титулах русинов.
Even at the beginning of the full-scale invasion, the Carpathian Rusins issued a statement condemning Russian aggression and any appeals by Petro. I would add that according to the all-Ukrainian census, about 10,000 residents of Zakarpattia identified themselves as Rusins. This is less than 1% of the region's population. Oppressed and unwanted in Ukraine. This is how Kremlin propagandists paint the image of a Ukrainian Hungarian. They claim that Ukraine is conducting ethnic cleansing. Therefore, the residents of Zakarpattia supposedly want this territory to become a part of Hungary.
Такая же проблема и в Закарпатской области Украины. Я раньше там катался на лыжах, поэтому знаю Драгобрат, горнолыжный курорт Буковель, и, как я понимаю, население там не говорит по-русски, по-украински они тоже почти не говорят. Я не знаю, что это за язык, и я позднее обнаружил, что это довольно-таки недобрый язык.
Representatives of the Russian Orthodox Church are adding fuel to the fire. However, they are being watched by the State Security Service of Ukraine.
Переговоры, думаю, чтобы не было после удара и по Ужгороду. Ну, там это все не Украина, будем говорить. Ну, да. Там никто Украина и не дышит. Там все Польша, там Венгрия, там...
The Ukrainian government has found a way to solve the Hungarian issue in Zakarpattia, supposedly by mobilizing ethnic Hungarians in the region. This disinformation is being spread by Russian media. Analysts of the EU versus Disinfo project have found that there is no evidence that ethnic Hungarians are being drafted into the Ukrainian army in greater numbers than representatives of other ethnicities. According to propagandists, the mobilization of Hungarians is intended to annoy Viktor Orban's government. He is sure that Ukraine will lose to Russia on the battlefield.
My position is that looking at the reality, looking at the figures, looking at the surroundings, looking at the fact that NATO is not ready to send troops, it's obvious that there is no victory for poor Ukrainians on the battlefield. That's my position. That was always my suggestion to everybody, that instead of to manage to have a stronger involvement into the war, escalation should be stopped and we should argue in favor of peace and negotiations.
And the Hungarian foreign minister, along with Beijing, has embraced the so-called peace plan.
One thing for sure, that the longer this war takes, the more of such kind of events can take place, and the more of such kind of events take place, the bigger the risk of escalation is. So as a representative of a neighboring country, which is being in danger because of a potential escalation, I urge this war to be stopped as soon as possible. Once it is being stopped, such kind of events don't take place and we have a bigger chance for saving lives of the people.
If Russia gives its approval, Hungary also named an absurd condition for Ukraine's NATO membership.
While Ukrainians' borders are disputed, armed conflict continues. Even NATO's own rules exclude Kyiv's accession to the alliance. Without the risk of war, Ukrainian accession is possible only if Russia approves a certain agreement.
While Russian propagandists are hyping the so-called genocide of Hungarians in Ukraine, official Budapest periodically draws criticism from its European counterparts. This is Viktor Orban, who, at the summit of the European political community, tried to kiss the hand of Moldovan President Maia Sandu. However, she refused. Official Budapest has also stated that it will not arrest Russian President Vladimir Putin if he enters Hungary. This was announced by the head of the Prime Minister's administration. The reasoning is that the arrest would have no legal basis as the Rome Statute has not been incorporated into the Hungarian legal system. This stance is the right of a sovereign state, but the entire civilized world wants to see the Russian dictator on trial in Hague. I am convinced that we will get there. Stay with us and good luck.